Welcome to the Success with Jewelry podcast, where we invite you inside our conversations about business success and marketing for jewelry designers and entrepreneurs.
We're Liz and Laryssa, jewelry marketing experts with a combined 16 years of experience in jewelry marketing and proven track records in helping jewelry brands meet their goals. When you listen to or watch this podcast, you get an intimate and exclusive peek behind the curtain of all the things you wish you could know about earning success in this industry.
Welcome to episode 26. In this episode, Liz and I will be talking about the benefits of segmentation and A/B testing in email marketing and why you should consider trying some of these more advanced email tactics. More specifically, what's segmentation and how can you start taking advantage of it? What's A/B testing and how can you implement it? And what are some other more advanced ways of optimizing your email marketing? We also want to tell you about our insider community. When you join for only $20 a month, you'll have access to extended episodes full of tips that you can start implementing today and further resources about each topic we discuss. To get access to that exclusive content, just visit successwithjewelry.com. Hey, Liz, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into this topic that I think that a lot of designers aren't doing, or maybe they're doing it a little bit, but aren't sure how to take advantage of.
Yeah, and it's so powerful, can help you make better decisions in your marketing. Stop feeling like you're just guessing all the time or like flying by the seat of your pants, like actually make smart decisions about your marketing.
Yes. So let's first answer the question, what is segmentation? What does that mean?
Sure. So at the most basic level, it just means taking your email list and breaking it up into smaller groups or kind of like buckets of people based on really any different kind of behavior, characteristic, whatever you may want to choose. So things like people who live in a certain city, or people who have purchased from you before, or maybe people who have not purchased from you before, maybe someone who, or a group of people who attended a trunk show, or maybe they specifically wanted to get early access to your product launches. So like, it's kind of endless how many different ways you can segment your list.
Yes. And I think that it's something that some of you might already be doing because you might have a press list, you might have a wholesale list, and that's kind of a first start at segmenting. Now you want to take a look at your audience of direct-to-consumer clients and think about how you can send them emails that are more suited to what they're interested in.
Yeah. And while this can be a manual process, like you can literally go into each one of your contacts and add different information that will help you segment, you can also do this automatically. And email providers like Klaviyo and MailChimp, and pretty much any email provider, will let you create segments based on like different criteria that you enter. So you could tell Klaviyo, like, I only want people who have purchased in the last 30 days, or I only want people whose birthdays are in March or something like that. And then Klaviyo will automatically create a list of those people for you, assuming that you have the data that it can pull from to do that.
And if you have a small list or you're just starting a list, it's really important to think about the information you're going to want to collect that could help you segment in the future so that you add it now versus when you have a lot of people on your list and then it just feels like an overwhelming task. And something I always do is when I'm uploading somebody or a list of people from a trunk show or an event or anything like that, I make sure I tag them with that event. That's an easy way to get that whole group of people in there with a specific tag. So I know that I met them at the trunk show I did in New York City or whatever the event was.
Yeah. And then keeping the goal in mind while you're doing that too. So the goal of segmenting is not just like for the heck of it, but it's so that you can send your subscribers or your future or current customers emails that they open and say, wow, like I really resonate with this content. It feels valuable to me. You can be more personalized. You can send them more relevant information. So how can you achieve that? Let's talk about how to get started.
Yeah. So first you want to see what data you're already collecting. What do you already have from your customers? So do you already have birthdays, or do you want to collect birthdays because maybe you have a birthstone collection you want to promote? Or do you need addresses for a postcard campaign? Consider sending out a campaign to gather this information after. That's something you can always do. So think about what you already have and think about what you need to achieve your goals.
Yeah. And then once you kind of have the information you need, you can start by testing simple segments. So one example of this is like, let's pretend you have a welcome discount. And most people on your email list have opted in through this like welcome pop-up. But I'm sure there's a percentage of them who just never bought. They never took advantage of that discount. So maybe you can segment something to them, reminding them like, hey, take advantage of this welcome discount, or like, here's some recommended products you would like. Or maybe let's say you are a fine jewelry brand that also has like a wedding / bridal line, and you're coming out with a new like engagement ring collection. If you know on your list, like these are the people who buy the fine jewelry and these are the people who buy the wedding stuff, you could segment the messaging that way. I just realized that's a really bad example because probably those people already have engagement rings, but
Well,
maybe if you have like anniversary bands or something.
Yeah, I mean, adding a band to your collection, but also if you know who purchased engagement rings from you, you could target them with wedding bands.
So be more logical about it, but that's the general gist.
That is an interesting, I mean, this is off topic from what we're talking about, but the bridal client is a confusing one because it's like how they come to you for that one reason. I just want to say while we're talking about this, that usually people who get their engagement ring from a certain designer want to continue to purchase from that designer. So don't forget about them. Think wedding bands, think anniversary gifts, think, how you can check in with them on those important dates.
Absolutely.
That was a segue. Anyway, so let's move on to
a segment segue.
A segment segue. Usually we get into tangents and different directions in our insider episodes. It's fun to do it on a public podcast, one of our public versions. So that's just a little flavor of some of we probably would have gone further down that road in our insider podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get into what A/B testing is, because I know you like this a lot.
Yeah. So A/B testing is when you are going to go from jewelry designer to putting on your lab coat and becoming a scientist. But I don't want to intimidate you. You don't need like a science degree to do this. You just have to know, you have to have a hunch or an idea about something that may or may not be working in your marketing. And you have to be willing to want to test it so you can know for sure rather than just guessing. So an A/B test is choosing 2 different variables in your marketing, sending it all to all your subscribers or whatever followers, and then seeing which one wins. And this is not exclusive to email. We'll be talking about it as it relates to email, but like A/B testing could be any type of marketing, really.
Yeah, and make sure you're choosing to do this with an idea of what you're looking to understand. So this is why reporting is so important. And you've heard our episodes about reporting before, and hopefully you're doing it, but you can really see trends. So if you see that your open rate's low, then you might want to do some A/B testing on subject lines. Or if your click rate's low, maybe you want to do some A/B testing on your calls to action.
Absolutely. Yes. You need to be paying attention to the data because otherwise you won't know what to test and you won't know how to make your marketing better. The A/B testing can help you understand like what incremental changes you can make to keep improving. Otherwise, it's always going to be a guess. There's not going to be any system to tracking like what works and what doesn't. So in email, Liz just mentioned one example of something you can A/B test, but you can also test like even the color of your buttons. You would be surprised how big of a difference, and I've seen it myself, like changing a color can improve the click-through rate, or like the contrast of the fonts. Because think about it, a lot of people are probably looking on their phone, scrolling really quickly. The visual aspects of your email can make a big difference in performance. You can test personalizing the emails. You can test the hero images. You can test like short copy versus long copy to see if that impacts click-through rate. But it really depends on what you want to know, and then kind of working backwards from that.
Yeah, A/B testing is cool. I have never done it before. I know Laryssa really loves seeing the results of an A/B test when she does it for a client, and it's gotten me a little excited, and I kind of want to try it on my own list.
It's really like so validating too when you're A/B testing and you have a hunch about something and it turns out you're right based on the results.
Definitely. So, what are some of the other more advanced ways to optimize your email marketing?
Yeah. So personalization, whether that means like putting someone's name in the email or the subject line, or like personalizing the imagery. Also, going back to one of our previous episodes, automation, something we talked about. Getting even more sophisticated with your segments. So maybe starting with something kind of basic. And once you feel confident with that, continuing to try new things and seeing if the segmented emails do produce better results. Like, do people respond better to those emails? Doing more A/B testing once you get comfortable with that, or you even do see some kind of positive result, or helps you make a decision. And also re-engagement campaigns too, which is when you create a segment in your email marketing platform of people who haven't engaged with your emails in a certain period of time. Usually it's like 90 days, I would say. And you just send them a message saying, hey, like, what's up? Why haven't you engaged with my emails in a while? Because the truth is, you don't want those people on your list anyway. They could be damaging your list health, and you want to, like, on a quarterly or twice a year basis, be filtering those people out anyway, because they may not even use that inbox anymore. They may have a different email address. Maybe it was like a work email and they don't even work there. So you have to kind of be keeping up with the health of your list. And then also, I would say most of these work best when you have like a bigger sample size of people to work with. Liz asked me the question before,
Yeah.
what's a good number for an email list? So that's a really hard question to answer. It's like, what's a good like Instagram follower count? It's all so relative to like what you sell, the price point, how engaged your subscribers are, etc. But in general, and you can imagine, think about like scientific studies, like think about like them testing a pharmaceutical drug. If you test it on 50 people versus like 1,000 people, wouldn't you better trust the results that came from like the bigger study, because you just have more data? So it is good to keep focusing on building your list so you can get the feedback from like a bigger group of people. But at the same time, knowing like you want to make sure those are people who actually really want to be there. They're not just like dead contacts on there that are beefing up your numbers.
And the point to all of this really is to be able to do more of what's working. So you're looking to figure out what is resonating with your audience, what is leading to sales or meeting your goals, whatever those goals may be. It's not always sales. So that's why we're doing this. And I was just thinking, designers might be listening to this episode being like, okay, well, you're just adding more work and I'm not sure why. But the reason why is if you're seeing trends, if you're seeing that your marketing can be improved, that there are things that maybe aren't working right now, or better ways to reach your audience and talk to your audience, that's why you want to do this, is to just improve what you're doing now and figure out how to do more of what's working.
It's going to help you save time in the long run, because you're not going to be spinning your wheels, feeling frustrated, wondering what's working, what's not working. You're going to ultimately be more efficient by taking the time to do these things.
Yes, so true.
So have you tried segmentation or A/B testing? Are you interested in learning more about optimizing your email marketing? Liz and I are here to help you. Let us know. Visit successwithjewelry.com to sign up for the extended episode as well as exclusive content. Thanks so much for listening or watching.